Welcome to Going for the Green. I'm Brad Thomas here with Denny Carter, and this week we are breaking down our favorite bets and plays for the CJ Cup Byron Nelson. Denny, before we get into it, man, I'm going to have to give you a massive pat on the back because you absolutely carried our team for the Zurich Classic. Congratulations on not only having an absolute stunning card, you selected the outright champion in Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry.
I should have listened more to myself, Brad, when I should have had all of the Lowry McIlroy team. I did have a good exposure to them in DraftKings tournaments. It paid off to an extent. But hey, look, I'm glad that we were able to figure out an algorithm that showed us that despite these guys, Lowry and McIlroy, maybe partying in New Orleans, maybe having a good time after the rounds, they were still going to come through. That's what the algorithm said. That's what our model said. So we listened to them, and we're going to go forward with that.
You know, it's awesome. We talked about them partying in New Orleans. They absolutely did. The talk of the town was Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry up on stage doing karaoke.
I know.
with drinks in their hands. So, like, I mean, I guess maybe we should Strokes Game Party Life. We should kind of boost it up a little bit more. Who knows? But let's get into it. I know you're talking about Mr. Kashmir Keith. Yes. Keith Mitchell. I want to say at 40-1, he's a guy who is on my card. So I smiled a little bit. And I want to ride your hot hand. Tell me what you like about Keith Mitchell.
I mean, he's tearing the cover off the ball. I mean, he's out there with his big old visor. I mean, the thing, I actually think that his visor gets a little bit bigger every week, and it's just like a bit to toy with us as golf fans. But I'm into it. I'm okay with the visor as long as he keeps hitting it. First in ball striking in this field, third in strokes gained on approach. Every week he is just a machine from the fairway. Accuracy off the tee is a little bit of a question, and that is important here. I'm willing to overlook that because of his second shot ability. Keith, if you could just keep it together on the weekend, it would really, really help me out. I really do think that he's not going to be super high rostered in DraftKings tournaments. It makes him very interesting.
You know, what I love about what you said is he's tearing the cover off the ball. This is another course where ball striking is going to be absolutely massive. This is like the run of events where you just want to take ball strikers.
Yeah.
I'm going with a ball striker, and I was not going to flirt with the lower price guys, anyone under 20-1, especially with how early in the season we were seeing long shots win, but with Scotty Scheffler winning multiple times, with Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry winning at 7-1. I'm diving back in because I think the year of the long shots kind of decimated, especially at this point in the season. I'm taking Siwoo Kim at 18-1. So there's two incredible stats, and I will just give a quick plug to rickrungood.com where you can find this listed out. It's how many times a guy gains any kind of stroke to the field. And then another field is how many times a guy gains at least one stroke to the field. You can go all the way up to 5. But I only did it for 1 and 2 just because it's a birdie fest. You're not going to gain that many strokes to the field. Well, Siwoo Kim is number 1 in both of those in the last 36 rounds. It's also important to note that Siwoo Kim is the runner-up here last season. And if you look at his stat profile, just about every single event outside of the Masters, he was a big gainer on approach. We know he's really excellent off the tee. And by excellent, I means he hits fairways, which is what you need here. Just hit fairways. You don't need to be crazy long, even though length helps. And you want to be really good on approach. At 18-1, it was a little juicy for my appetite, but I figured if I were to look at all the guys on the board who set up the most, Siwoo Kim is absolutely a guy who I could ignore a bunch of the price and just take the better golfer.
Absolutely. And like you said, accuracy matters a lot more than distance at this event on this course. And by almost every measure, Siwoo Kim is the most accurate driver on tour this season. So he's going to put himself in position to score. I'm totally with you there.
So I was a better of Chan Kim about 5 events ago. I got him at 150-1. I think he finished like top 10. I didn't play him in the each way market. I didn't play him in DFS. I didn't play him in the placement market. I was absolutely felt embarrassed. I think he was 250-1. It was the actual price. So you like Chan Kim at 7,600 on DraftKings. What do you like about him?
Yeah, so he's really turned it around as far as ball striking goes over the past month or so. He had a tie for 14th finish at Valero Texas Open, tied for 6th at Corrales Punta Cana. Last week, his team tied for 28th at the Zurich event. He's top 20 in ball striking in this field. Do me a favor and do yourself a favor. Don't look at Chan Kim's ball striking numbers before like the beginning of March, okay? Because they are really, really ugly. He has turned it around. And here's the thing. So 7,600 on DraftKings, I actually think is not a good price for Chan Kim. So why are you talking about him? This is the natural question. Because at 7,600, nobody is going to roster this guy. I think that there are guys who are $6,000-$8,000 less than Kim on DraftKings who are going to see much higher roster percentage. So if you're playing tournaments, I think Kim is just a name that will be completely ignored here, and he's trending in the right direction.
Okay, Mr. Chan Kim. Well, I'm going to go to another guy who I actually think is kind of under the radar. It's hard to say that this golfer doesn't get respect because of how well he's done on the Korn Ferry Tour, but when it comes to the PGA Tour, we knew his breakthrough was coming. When you have that kind of success on another tour and you come over to the PGA Tour, it's just bound to happen. He was knocking a lot and he broke through the glass at the Houston Open, and that's Steven Jger. His price at one point was like 35, 40 to 1. I bet him at 33 to 1, and I bet him to finish top 20 at plus 165. Little fun fact, he's the only golfer to beat Scottie Scheffler in the last 5 starts of Scottie Scheffler. But when we think about his makeup, what makes him such a good golfer, outside of the pedigree of winning on the Korn Ferry Tour, one of the winningest golfers in a single Korn Ferry Tour season, it's what he does well. He's a great driver of the ball who's also long off the tee. And then when I was building out my model, I wanted to see where he would fall. I would have bet him even if he finished inside the top, like bottom 20, not bottom 20, but in the bottom of the top 20. He actually finished 5th. And a lot of that has to do with, at this course, it's going to be a birdie fest. A lot of that to do is birdie bettors are gained. Also, the top 3 easiest holes on this course are all par 5s. He's top 10 in par 5 scoring, which helps me out a lot. I think that Steven Jager's at this point of his career where he's going to be a multiple PGA Tour winner. And I think it can happen year after year. So why not an event like this? We draw parallels to this being a Korn Ferry Tour like field. Right. Well, he dominated the Korn Ferry Tour. I think he has a good chance to dominate this event.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who eats up par 5s, like you mentioned, and that's going to be important here. He doesn't do poorly in birdie fests either. And yeah, he did beat Scottie Scheffler. It doesn't like the fact that Scottie Scheffler should have made that putt on the 72nd hole.
I was on Scotty.
Yeah, so that we're forgetting that Steven Jger beat him head to head.
All right, let's get to our last golfers. Yeah. Who do you like in kind of that long shot pivot kind of role on DFS this week?
Yeah, Joel Dahmen, I should say, 6,800 on DraftKings. He's 4th in this field in strokes gained on approach, 3rd in ball striking over the past 2 months. The thing is, Brad, as you know, my man Joel cannot make a putt, and I don't mean like long putt. I mean a single putt that's not a tap in. He's 140th out of 143 in this field in strokes gained putting. It is an absolute disaster on the greens. My guy Joel doesn't have much confidence around the greens or on the greens. Thankfully, he's ripping the cover off the ball like his friend Kashmir Keith, and they combined last week to not almost win the Zurich, but put up a fight until the weekend. It makes you wonder about their partying habits, honestly. But Dahmen, I do like Dahmen as a low cost option, even if he cuts the top off his bucket hat, which he did last week. I know you saw that. Yeah. He cut it off. He looked absolutely ridiculous. Hopefully that brings him some luck this week if he keeps that up.
If I know the memes and watching the Netflix series, these guys definitely love the party. So no surprise there, but I'm going to go with a kind of an interesting bet. I don't play this market all that often, but I will preface it by saying this. If I bet Alex Noren as the top Scandinavian player at plus 150, I get a better price by almost 50 cents if I bet him here versus the top Swedish player at minus 115. I bet Alex Noren to win. But at 28 to 1, I don't think that he has enough win equity for me really to dive in those waters and advise it as, hey guys, this is my favorite bet. I actually do love this bet here because first and foremost, if you look at adjusted course fit, I use that metric a lot of kind of like a starting point, right? Like how my brain works, I like putting things in lists. Mm-hmm. I list out all of these, but adjusted course fit is kind of one of the first things I list out. Then I list out recent results, 5 straight top 25 finishes. He's really great at par 5s. And it's important to note that the guys he's playing with are really up and down on the season, roller coaster rides. When you think about Olsen, Norman, Bjork, Norlander, yeah, sure, they have these big prices, but if you want consistency, if you were to run this bet back at the same course 5 or 10 times, I think Noren's going to be the guy that you're going to want to go after at plus 150.
We love our Scandinavians. I like Alex Noren a lot this week. He fits a lot of the key metrics for this course.
Yeah, man. As always, this was fun. I hope that you guys got a little bit of insights on how we're going to play this week and how you can make money. If Denny continues to stay hot, he's going to buy me drinks next time I see him.
That's right.
But before you go, make sure you check out NBCsports.com to help with all of your wagers. For Denny Carter, I'm Brad Thomas. Thanks for checking out Going for the Green.